What's up, everybody? Before we get into the Film Roast collaboration episode that I did with the wonderful ladies of Film Roast, we are roasting Insidious, which is great because this is a big horror weekend coming up. We got It coming out, but then also I have some explaining to do on why Deezus Take the Reel has been a little bit AWOL, and just giving you guys a quick update real quick because this episode was actually recorded like a couple weeks ago. But like I said, it's actually perfect timing because I haven't been working on Deezus Take the Reel stuff just because I've been working on this horror podcast for geeksandgamers.com that I'm super excited about. I can finally announce it. I've been teasing it for a while. It is called Beyond the Grave. The Beyond the Grave podcast will be a horror variety show of sorts where there'll be all sorts of segments, news, movie reviews. There'll be an audio drama. There'll be storytelling sessions where I'm reading short stories that have been submitted to me by fellow horror writers, which is awesome. I'll have a rotating panelist of different horror experts to be guests on the show. There's going to be skits in there. There's going to be literally so much stuff crammed into this little horror variety show, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. It has a lot of extra production going into it, and I'm actually putting a lot of work into it. So this is going to be a good time, but I have been slacking off on Deezus Take the Reel, which I will not be doing any longer because I do have a lot of episodes that I still haven't released yet. Like half the episodes that I did in LA still haven't been released yet. There's some good ones in there with Lon Harris, RB3, Stacey Howard. So I haven't even released those episodes yet. And then I still have some D's and T Money stuff I haven't released yet. I have a bunch of stuff I haven't recorded. It's just when it comes to editing and doing all the social media posts and all that stuff, I'm only one man, guys, and I do all this stuff by myself. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know I work on so many different shit right now. I got Deezus Take the Reel. Now I got Beyond the Grave. I've been writing weekly for geeksandgamers.com as well. So I've been working on a bunch of stuff. Oh, and of course my personal website, deezus.org, where I've been writing on my blog, Deez Thoughts. So yeah, I'm literally doing a shit ton of stuff, and it's a mistake that I've done to myself. My ambition gets the best of me, and I've spread myself a little too thin. So it's I'll be working on Geeks and Gamer stuff, and then I'll forget about Deezus Take the Reel, and then I'll be working on that, and then forget about something else. But that is changing. So one change, Deezus Take the Reel will be every other week. If I have time to do it every week, I will, because like I said, I do have pre-recorded episodes already. It's just a matter of editing them and getting them out there and stuff. So it just kind of depends, but just for myself personally, so that way I'm not stretching myself too thin, Deezus Take the Reel is going to go down to weekly or bi-weekly. So it'll be every other week starting with this episode. And then it will be on the weeks that I do not release a Beyond the Grave episode. So one week will be Beyond the Grave through Geeks and Gamers, and then the other week will be Deezus Take the Reel. So that's pretty much how I'm going to be doing this. But yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update while I've been AWOL and what's going down for the show. I plan on doing another live episode at some point. I really want to do. My Podiversary is coming up. Deezus Take the Reel hits 1 year in November. So, I'm right around the corner for that. So we're going to do some fun stuff. And yeah, but the biggest thing is, the reason that I slack off on Deezus Take the Reel is sometimes I feel a little unmotivated for it. I don't know who's actually listening, so that's a thing. Reach out to me. If you're listening to the show, tweet at me. Let's have some conversations. Let's spread the word. More people need to listen to the show as well. And because like I said, it does, whenever you're producing a lot of online content, if people aren't hearing and reading your stuff, it's sometimes, can be a little defeating. So I sometimes lose motivation, but here's the thing. I'm going to try and revamp Deezus Take the Reel and try and do it a little bit better. Hopefully doing it bi-weekly instead of every week will kind of take some of the stress off me, and I can put some better content out on a better schedule as well, because I did such a good job of releasing every single week, and then as soon as I took one break, that was the trickle effect, and then after that I've taken 4 breaks since then. So I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm getting myself on a nice schedule right now. Deezus Take the Reel will also move to Wednesdays. It will no longer be on Tuesdays. It will be on Wednesdays. Just to give me some time, because Beyond the Grave will be on Mondays. So it'll give me some time in between. So that's what's going down. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. It was so much fun. I love the girls of Film Roast. Julia and Hannah are so fun. We talk on Twitter a lot and stuff, so it was great to finally record an episode with them, and I hopefully will be doing some more collaborations coming up as well. So enjoy the roast of Insidious. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. No, this is not a religious podcast. It's a podcast where we're talking movies, we're talking life, we're talking all sorts of crazy shit. And on today's episode, we have a very special one. Things are roasting. I'm roasted because I'm pretty stoned as usual. I got people that are here to roast. There's gonna be lots of literal and figurative roasting going on. It's just an all-around, this is a roast episode, Deezus Take the Reel. We haven't done one of these in a long time, since we set the 50 Shades movies ablaze. This was months ago, but we had a lot of fun doing it. So I am super pumped to be doing another one. But of course, I had to up the ante. I had to bring in some specialists, if you will. I found these ladies. I listened to their podcast. And what got me is they do these rants. This is the Film Roast podcast. I'm here with Hannah and Julia. What's up, ladies? How you doing?
Good. Hi. We're doing great.
Good. Yeah, so I found your guys' podcast. And let's be real, like podcaster to podcaster here. You know, the podcast world frustrates me at times. And I don't have time to listen to a lot of podcasts. Like, everybody always, everybody wants you to listen to everybody's stuff. Am I right? And then, so I will let you guys in on a secret, though. You guys are one of, 5 podcasts that I actually do listen to. Like, in my ears, I actually hear them. I listen to them.
Wow. That's amazing.
You're in some exclusive company. I tell a lot of podcasts I listen to their podcasts. But there's very few that I actually do listen to. I listen to your guys'. So you guys are an exclusive company there.
Oh, thank you. We feel so honored.
Yeah. So at first, because I think I stumbled on it because I was hoping that it involved coffee in some way. And then I think that started off as the thing, right? And then and then you guys would go on these rants about movies, and then you guys are like, well, we're the Film Roast podcast now, I guess, too. And, you got the double entendre going.
Yeah, I feel like most people are kind of like, yeah, your podcast is super cool, but I totally thought there was going to be coffee involved somehow. Which is accurate.
I didn't know if you guys would be reviewing different kinds of roasts or something. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if you were gonna make coffee drinks to the movies. I don't know. There's a lot of questions here.
Yeah, I think the general originally our premise was actually we were gonna be called Boozy Movies, and we were gonna have drinks with our movies and kind of make fun of them. But then we just decided one, we can't afford to buy all the fancy schmancy liquor that we want to. And 2, it would just take so much time to do all of that stuff. So we changed it to coffee, which is something we universally always have at any hour of the day. Mm-hmm. And that kind of was why we got called Film Roast. But we are trying our best to put coffee in there somewhere.
Yeah, we're trying to bring it back.
We're trying. Yeah. We're working on it.
And, like I said, that's kind of the fun thing with the podcast. They grow. You grow into the podcast, and then, it starts off as one thing, and you kind of go in another direction. I listen to, my early episodes sometimes, and I'm like, whew. I was like, man, I really hope people don't start with these episodes.
Oh, yeah, they're bad. Ours are bad, not yours. Yours are fine. Ours are terrible.
Oh, no. Everybody's like, I don't think any podcaster can say their first 3 episodes are good. Nobody, right. They never are. But that's, like I said, that's the beauty of it. So, we already kind of are, we kind of got into it already. But for those of you who don't know, on Deezus Take the Reel, the episode is broken up into 3 segments. In the opening segment, we usually have a game, and we have the Who the Hell Are You introduction segment. In the middle, we talk about whatever movies are brought to the table, and then the third segment is a story time. Well, this is a special episode, so pretty much none of that is true for this one. We are going to still do Who the Hell Are You? We're going to hear who our guests are and get a little more into that. And then we are going to, I don't even think we said the movie we're roasting. We're all horror fans here, so we thought, okay, what's a popular horror movie? Annabelle Creation came out, so that's like in the Conjuring universe, the James Wan stuff. So we ended up settling on Insidious, so that is the movie we're going to be roasting. So, we'll talk a little good about it for a minute, but then we will have no mercy after that, and then we are going to roast this movie. And then I figured at the end for our story time, since we're already going to be in a very hateful, negative mood, let's talk some movie theater pet peeves at the end. So be thinking of that throughout the episode. Be thinking of that, and we'll have a little, therapy release session at the end of the roast. So this will be nice. So, like I said, the opening segment of Deezus Take the Reel is Who the Hell Are You? I like to let the guests themselves tell the audience who they are, because, I keep up with you guys and what you guys do and all that kind of stuff. So, since I got two of you guys can each have a turn if you'd like, or, I don't know, maybe you have this rehearsed or something, but you can go for it.
Go for it, Julia.
Yeah, you'd think we'd have it more rehearsed by now, but we don't. Hannah and I, obviously, we met in college, and we just kind of discovered a mutual love of movies over Twitter, I think, one day, after already being apart for like 3 years or something like that. Yeah. And we're just like, dude, let's try and do something with this, because this is super cool. And at first we started out with this kind of horrible video series of this, and it really did not go very well. And that's why we transitioned to podcast. And you can still find our weird first videos, but they're totally bad. They're not good at all. And so then we kind of transitioned to podcasting. So we just do... we just kind of pick a random topic every week. Like it's like super random, and we both kind of bring to the table our own personal preferences. But we really try and let people know that it's like, we are not experts on anything we're talking about. Like, don't expect this to be something really, really well thought out or really well done. Like, we are not movie critics or experts. So we really try and make that clear, so people's expectations are very, very low for this podcast.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I guess I take the opposite approach. I'm like, no, I know everything about movies. No, I really, I don't think any of us are experts here. You can't really be an expert on movies anyways. But yeah, that's, and that's what makes it fun. And, and you said you, through Twitter, and like, that's where I found, my, audience where, whether it be on Twitter or Facebook is a big one for me. I'm in a Facebook movie group that has 14,000 members on Facebook, and it's like the online film community. It's crazy, and it's kind of crazy that it can bring people together. Because like I said, you guys are in two different locations. Where are you guys at? Like, one of you is is it like East West Coast? Are you guys like star-crossed lovers, or?
No.
We're just a few hours away.
Okay,
Julia's in Spokane, Washington, and I'm like probably like an 18-hour drive to Phoenix, Arizona. That's where I'm at.
That's not bad. I mean, at least you're on the same side, Yeah,
same side, same time zone right now. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, so they just decide, like, I'll decide what time it is.
Oh, yeah, Arizona are like the gangsters of America. I have a friend that lives in Phoenix as well, and he was like trying to explain this to us, and it just made no sense. And I was just like, but at the same time, daylight savings makes no sense. So, I mean, really, Arizona's the only people that know what's up. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is kind of nice. I always know what time it is.
True.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and I've always wondered how it would be like doing the, the co-hosting in different areas and stuff. Because, like, Tyler, he's across the hallway. Speaking of which, he's not here, unfortunately. He's tied up in some other things. Tyler was going to join us, but he might make a cameo appearance. We'll see. If we're lucky enough, he might make a cameo appearance.
I wanted to add to that note that I was listening to your last episode on the way home from work, and I think T.A. Coleman is the coolest name for him.
Right? Okay. I'm getting so many votes for this. I got him to do it on Instagram. His Instagram is now T.A. Coleman. But then...
Perfect.
Yeah, so that is his Instagram. But I'm like, no, I think you should, like, legit go by that. Like, that is, like, a a regal actor.
I would.
Oh,
yeah.
I will let him know. I'll be like, dude, like, everybody's in. Like, people are in. Just go for it.
Perfect.
So speaking of going for it, before we, like I said, before we dive into roasting the movie, we got to talk a little good about it because, like, I was telling you before we started recording, like, this is a little bit more of a challenge, The 50 Shades movies made it pretty easy. They were highly flammable. And it went pretty fast. This one's a little bit harder. I had to like take notes and stuff, and because this is a good movie. Like, would you guys agree? Like, do you guys like this movie? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I definitely like this movie. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it's not my favorite as far as like James Wan goes. I'm still more of a Conjuring guy myself. But this movie, it's made very well. It has good acting in it. I was like, okay, let's see how hard this is gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a little bit hard, but then the movie started, and I was like, okay, I think I can work with this. I can work with this. But so, what are the things you like about the movie?
I actually think that because when I watched this movie for the first time like a year ago, so I'm kind of new to Insidiously speaking, and so like my expectations for it were pretty low, but I actually thought it was pretty good. Like, I think that they do a really good job with actually creating kind of really real scares. And with so many of these horror movies, the storylines are just horrifying, like in a bad way. Like, they're just not good. Like, a lot of them just struggle to have any sort of like good plot. And I feel like Insidious actually kind of does have a good plot in some way, and there's kind of that twist at the end, and so I think that adds a lot to it. So I think it's gonna be really hard for me to roast this movie because I actually really like this movie a lot. I think it's really good.
What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Patrick Wilson, and I love Rose Byrne, so those two are great, and they are, I don't know, really hard to make fun of because I enjoy almost everything they're in. I love the beginning of this movie, despite the fact that the like credits in the beginning are about 10 minutes long, and it's like, okay, are you gonna start? Sorry, good things. But I do like the color scheme of the movie. I love the bright, vibrant red that is used all over it. I think that's really cool. I think the demon is horrifying. I think he's very scary. And a lot of the time when you get to see a demon in a movie, it's like, oh, it kind of loses the appeal because it's left to the mind, and that can be really scary when it's not shown. But I think this one in particular is super creepy. And so, yeah, I like the demon in this. I like the cast. The story was good, good enough to keep me interested. I don't know if it's worth 3 movies, but yeah, overall, I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, like I still shade more on like the Conjuring side and stuff. And really, Insidious 1's the only one that I like of the 3 of them. The other ones or whatever. But yeah, like you said, like I love Patrick Wilson. Debatably the best Wilson, even though he's not like an actual Wilson, but he's the best Wilson. But yeah, I love Patrick Wilson, and I love Rose Byrne. And this is where you got to see like some of the style that you'd see like later on in like more The Conjuring 2. Like this one has like more shades of The Conjuring 2 than it does the first one. But it's got some cool style to it, and it has an interesting story. Yeah, and it's like, like you said, they actually write a family drama with horror stuff in it, not, well, at least the first half of the movie. But again, good stuff for now. But yeah, no, I enjoy it. And as far as the demon goes, I like the design as well, just because it's very just not like the other like spirits and stuff. So like gives it that added layer of just like, what the hell? And fun fact, the demon is played by the composer of the movie who did the score for the movie.
Yeah, I've actually heard that, which is so cool. I think that's
he also
awesome.
did the demon for the new Annabelle movie as well, and for Annabelle 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Super
Weird.
random, but yeah, because he does the scores for the Conjuring movies as well, and yeah, I think just for the Conjuring 1 and 2, and he like has like a cameo role in one of those 2 movies as well. So weird. He likes to do the score, and then he likes to dress up as the monster.
Yeah, that's Joseph, a weird, like, it must be in his contract of like, I'll do these movies, but I need to be some sort of demon, you guys.
That would be a weird contract stipulation. That'd be something I'd put in a contract. I'd be like, I have to have at least 3 pantsless shots in this movie.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd usually be my stipulation. I'm podcasting pantsless currently. That's the only reason I say that now.
Oh, like, great. There you go.
That's the best part of podcasting. You know, you guys touched earlier and said you guys used to do videos. I used to do videos too. And my videos are still there too. They're not very good either. So I totally feel you guys there. But that's where, like I said, podcasting is also great because I didn't have to do anything for this. It's awesome. But anyways, back on track, getting back to the movie. But yeah, it's a solid movie. It really is. It's a solid movie. It's pretty creepy. The design of it, the look of it, everything it's pretty solid. Like, it's a pretty good movie. But that is not why we're here. We are here to tear this thing apart. Before we get into that, just a few housekeeping things real quick, guys. One, iTunes reviews. 5-star iTunes reviews are great for my ego, but they're also great for the show. They help people find the show, and more people will find us and listen to us if we get on the charts. And if you guys leave a 5-star iTunes review, we'll read it on the D's and T Money Show, which is the podcast within the podcast. We do every other Friday. So if you, like I said, make sure you guys get those iTunes reviews in, because there's nothing I like more than waking up, getting a big old cup of coffee, drinking it in one gulp, and then reading my iTunes reviews, because they make me feel good. So get those iTunes reviews in, guys. And another thing, guys, check out the Patreon account, patreon.com/Deezus Take the Reel. That's where $1 a month can help make the show bigger and better and longer, faster, stronger, all that good shit. And we can make the D's and T money, maybe a full-time show. You never know. And every dollar, like I said, goes towards helping the show. You also get some perks depending on what tier you donate into. You could get some exclusive content, monthly Skype session, some fun stuff like that. So definitely check out the Patreon account, patreon.com/Deezus Take the Reel. I try to say that as fast as possible because I'm done begging for attention and money. I'm ready to roast this fucking movie. I'm ready to let it burn.
Yeah.
Right, let it burn. I don't know if I said you can cuss on here. You can definitely cuss because I plan on doing it a lot. So, which one of you just feels like really strongly about this movie and like has something you need to get off your chest like right now to start it off?
Oh, me, I do.
Please go. Yes.
Like I said, I'm gonna have a really hard time roasting because I'm into Insidious. I'm a fan. But I do. Okay. So, like, one of the things that I do kind of struggle with a little bit is that because I think that the demon is really creepy. I think that they did an amazing job with this demon. But the demon's official demon name is the lipstick demon. And I can't. Like, why? Like, is it because part of him is red? Like, I don't fully get that.
I don't get that either, because later on in the movie, then it's whenever dude is drawing in the book, it says, and they're talking to Dalton. Dalton says, the man with fire on his face. And I was like, oh, Dalton, what are you looking at for one? Because I don't see no fire. But yeah, lipstick is never referenced either. So yeah, it kind of loses because how can you brag about this movie and be like, oh yeah, the cool demon? It doesn't have a name. They all need names, unfortunately. That's how the world works.
Lipstick demon reminds me of that creepy thing from Powerpuff Girls. Do you remember that creepy?
Him? It was him or her.
That was
like
scarier
the lobster
than
thing
the demon in this. Yes.
Yeah. It's
claws.
Probably related.
Probably.
I hate that thing. Powerpuff Girls is scary.
Powerpuff Girls is kind of weird. Powerpuff Girls is kind of weird. If you really think about it. But back on track.
That sounds right. Like lipstick demon. When I think of a lipstick demon, I think of that lobster thing from Powerpuff Girls. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. It's one of the pronouns. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's like him, her, or shim, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And it's the worst. It's the worst.
Nightmare fuel.
I don't know. And
I
then
feel
when you
like
think about it,
lipstick demon is something like Tyra Banks made up to sell more makeup. She was like, "Don't let the lipstick demon get you." Dye my makeup today and smize like a champ.
Gosh.
He like noticed the demon like had like hooves too, so it was like almost like it was in heels. Like it practically is.
Yeah.
Like
There you go.
Powerpuff Girls people need to go take James Wan to court, stealing his ideas, his characters.
Maybe that's its backstory, that it got kicked off of America's Next Top Model, and in spite of that, just went on a rampage. What do you think about that theory?
I'd be in. I mean, it's all connected universes these days anyways. Why not? Let's just fucking do it. Let's do it. So my biggest thing that I realized about this movie was like, this movie is a soap opera. Like, this movie is like 2 notches above being like a CW original movie or something. Because like it's very soapy. Like it's very soapy. Like the zoom in on Rose Byrne with her glossy eyes. Like if I would have been doing that as a drinking game, like I would have been trashed by like halfway through the movie. Because like it would literally be half this movie is I want a super cut of Rose Byrne looking at the camera with her like glossy eyes, and they zoom in and she asks a question because she asks a million questions in this movie too. Like it's very
and she
soapy.
is like a super beautiful woman, but I mean, she wakes up in the middle of the night like 20 times in this movie and she's like flawless somehow still. It's like, please, Rose, you're not above us. You know you'd look ratchet if you woke up in the middle of the night and were like having a heart attack about a demon attacking you.
I mean, I guess she didn't really care. I mean, what do you think about it? Rose Byrne in this movie is just kind of like a walking, talking exposition machine in this movie, unfortunately. I love her too. I love her in Neighbors. She's amazing. She's adorable. But you need to look like you sleep like everybody else, Rose Byrne. Maybe she doesn't.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the real horror of this movie is Rose Byrne doesn't actually sleep. She just sits around with her makeup on all the time. That's kind of weird.
Maybe Rose Byrne is a demon. Maybe that's a twist. Like, that's why she looks so flawless all the time.
I wouldn't. I'd be into it. That's like some Shyamalan shit.
Maybe she doesn't sleep because she's a demon. She doesn't need to sleep.
That's why her eyes are so glossy the whole movie too. She's not very emotional actually. She hasn't slept.
She was blessed with amazing bone structure, but an awful ability to write music in this movie. Her songs are just the worst.
Oh, sad. That's so sad. Poor Rose.
What were the songs for? Like, that's what I want to know. Like I feel like the real antagonist of this movie is like Simon Cowell is haunting the house to tell her like, no, you didn't make it. Like you didn't make it to Hollywood. That's the real horror of this movie.
It's a no for me, Rose.
That would be a no. Her songs are real bad, but not only are they bad though, like they don't add anything to the movie either. Like, so I'm just confused. If Rose was like an amazing singer or something, maybe if say Rose Byrne's character was played by, I don't know, Beyonce in this movie, then yeah, let her sing her weird sad songs all she wants. But
exactly.
It was a weird choice, and they never really followed up with it either. But yeah, that's actually one of my top concerns as well. So you guys tweeted about it, and I think this is a big one for everybody. Like, we gotta talk about the music in this movie. Like,
yes,
the horror of this movie: loud strings, loud piano chords, loud, loud, loud. Oh my goodness! And like, you could say this was like the birth of like a lot of people doing this these days.
Yes.
You might say this is where the idea was conjured up.
Oh, good one.
Swish.
Good one.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for the horn sound effect. I was going to do it myself here in a sec, but you got it. But yeah, no, like the score of this movie, I mean, it literally, that's how the movie starts. Like the logos start with a violin sound in this movie. Like I remember, because like I was putting the movie on, and like, you know, I was putting the movie on my laptop. I'm like getting in bed, and I'm like not even like turned around yet, and it's just bing, and I was like, God damn it, like don't fucking sneak up on me like that. Like, it's not cool. And that's another like half the horrors of this movie. Like the sounds are really cool, like the crackling and stuff, but like the music is just, it's overkill. Like it's too much.
Yeah, I agree because I noticed something I actually wrote down on a positive end was the way they use silence in the movie because it is so intense, that music, and you just want it to stop, that when the silence comes, it makes you really appreciate the scenes. And you're like, oh, this is nice. Like, nothing's happening, it's quiet. And so I thought they did a really good job of just using quiet in like the creaks of a house or just the general boy like walking around on a wooden floor or something. But the music is so much. I felt like I was in a Scorsese movie headed to Shutter Island. Like I had had enough of it at the very beginning, and then it just keeps coming until my ears started bleeding and I hated it.
Oh my God. Well, isn't there like when Patrick Wilson, when he has like made it into like the other side or whatever, and he actually goes into like the demon's lair, isn't the demon like playing some sort of weird like carnival piano music or something?
He's playing Tiny Tim is what he's playing. It's Tiptoe Through
It's a real
Tulips.
song?
Through the Tulips, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Why are you so good at that?
I actually play ukulele, and when this movie came out, that was like a goal of mine to like be able to do it. I can sing that song like Tiny Tim, and
that's pretty impressive.
But yes,
okay, let's get on that particular scene because
which one? The one in the end or the one in the middle?
The one towards the end when the demon is like working.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the boy is stuck in the further. Patrick Wilson comes out to rescue him. He finds him. He's chained up. And then they look up and this demon is like working with some sort of saw. And I understand it's supposed to be scary, but like it's like flashes of marionettes. Like what is James Wan's obsession with dolls? Like he's so afraid of dolls.
Yeah, well his Twitter tag is creepy puppet. Like he has some weird thing against dolls.
It makes so much sense now. Like Saw and Annabelle and these creepy weird doll things that just keep occurring. But the thing that drove me freaking crazy is this demon. This is terrifying. You see this demon in full for the first time, and it's like, ooh, shot of creepy doll, ooh, shot of mysterious saw. And then you find out he's like basically just giving himself a manicure because he's like sharpening his nails. And it's like, oh, respect. I understand. Like, I totally get why you have to do that. Like, you're not even doing anything scary. You're just trying to brush up your look. And that's totally fine with me.
Pretty much.
Well, he's the lipstick demon. He has to be honest.
He's the lipstick demon. Like, this demon's got to be on fleek. Like, this is the most on fleek movie monster of all time. I have to say. The hooves were looking nice. The claws were all shiny. Like, they weren't all, rusty and janky like Freddy Krueger. Like, these were some nice, like...
True.
This is top of the line.
None of that.
Top of the line. See, and I want to talk about and I think he just likes the song. I think he's just like really into Tiny Tim. Mm-hmm. I don't think it has any, I think he's just really into it. So the other scene where like the music, so like Rose Byrne is listening to the one song, and then when she goes outside, it cuts, to the Tiny Tim and the little kid and stuff. She's like outside. It's a really cool scene. It is, but I'm about to give this movie a backhand compliment here. Like, it is a cool scene, but like they kind of like stole their transition. Like when the record scratches and then starts playing Tiny Tim, all I can think about was SpongeBob. Like whenever they would do like a record scratch, and then they'd always have like that nautical music in the background. That's all I could think of during that scene. I was like, they stole that shit from fucking SpongeBob now. First stealing from Powderpuff Girls, now stealing from SpongeBob. James Wan, you like dolls?
Not like cartoons? What is his deal? I think James
Wan is just like actually 14. I think that's,
he's fooling us all.
Yeah, I think that's the thing here, because it's all children inspired. So speaking of children, let's talk about the kids in this movie. Did you forget they had a second son? Because I did. I think everybody forgets it. I think everybody forgets in the second half of the movie. I think they said, like, was he with the grandma maybe? I don't know. But that kid's gone.
They mentioned that.
That's the real horror of this movie. Where the hell did that other son go? Because, like,
Okay, and also the grandma knew that creature was like stalking her son and had just didn't say anything.
Oh,
Like
they knew
they literally moved houses,
well,
and she was like, "Oh, I'm so scared," and the grandma's just like, "No biggie."
Like, fuck you, grandma. They just had to spend all that money.
Right.
Like you paying for this shit, grandma? Like, yeah, she knew everything, but then fucking Lynn knew everything too. Everybody knew everything, and like the third like act of this movie, or really the second half of this movie, can be like condensed like 20 minutes, because like everybody just like, why don't you just tell people when you know things? Like, why does nobody ever do that?
Right.
You wouldn't have a movie, I suppose. Because like she knew, and then Lynn came in and was like, yeah, I remember you from when you were a kid, and then Patrick Wilson just like was like, okay, that was kind of weird for you to say, but I'm not going to ask about it.
Right.
So Patrick Wilson, so I noticed something, so I'm right in my notes, like I forget their names in this movie, so I have Rose Byrne just as Rose Byrne. Eventually I just started typing dad for Patrick Wilson. This is the most like dad that I've seen in a scary movie in a long time. I'm glad they brought this trope back of like average dads in horror movies, because it's real funny. Like it takes up to like, you know, Patrick Wilson actually being in the ghost zone to believe a word that anybody says in this movie. Like the whole time he's like, I get like, if Ray Romano was in this movie, that'd be Patrick Wilson's character, like from Everybody Loves Ray.
I mean, to be fair to him a little bit, one of my favorite parts is when Elise walks in the door and she's like, I didn't know if your doorbell worked. And then literally 30 seconds later, she's like, your child was taken by a demon. It's like, whoa, lady, like, calm your shit.
Well, he lets her do her seance thing, and then she does like the first part of it, and then like when she's like going over the plan, like, oh, this is worse than I thought, and she like goes over the plan, and then he's like listening to the whole thing, and they're just like, nope, I think you need to leave, you should go, and then he like goes and just starts crying in Dalton's room for like 10 minutes. Yeah. Like that's a lot. He's crying in that room for a long time. Like,
bad dad.
And he's just like, you know, and you're just like, you know, he's just a poor dad just trying to get his kid back. He doesn't know what's going on in the world. He's just a dad. So you guys have any more fun notes? I have a fun one. How do you guys feel about name dropping in movies? Like when the movie like name drops the title?
Oh my gosh. I thought the same thing when she said that.
Like she might as well have like did a full like turn and pose. She was like a more insidious agenda.
Oh god.
I was like, I mean, insidious is a tricky word to begin with for one. I mean, you can't really work that into everyday conversation. Yeah. So I mean, it was gonna be a stretch either way. But I mean, man, it was just like, bam, she's just like, an insidious agenda, and I was like, roll credits. I like it.
It was a little much. I mean, like, especially, it's not like they were like, I guess these hills have eyes, you know? It's just like, come on. You could have picked any other word there.
Well, whenever I see this happen in a movie, I always feel kind of bad for whatever, like, actor got the short end of the stick who had to actually say the name of the movie in the movie, because you know that they're like, oh my God, it's me. I have to say it. Like, you know, like, that would just suck, I think.
That is true. Like, you're like, fuck, no. Unless you're Nick Cage in Face Off. He was real excited to do his.
There you go.
Because that scene is a pretty good name drop. He's just like, take his face off. And Nick Cage was like, yeah, nailed it. So that's on the positive end. But this one was a little cheesy. They did it again in Annabelle, and when I rewatched Annabelle, they did the same thing, like when they like tried to name drop The Conjuring. I always just like picture somebody like tweeting and then like the word being in all caps, like when they say it. That's how I picture it. Yeah.
There was one other thing that really bothered me about this movie, which was the little kid is now in a coma. And he's on bed rest, and somehow this family who has 3 small children, and the mom doesn't work, and the dad is a teacher, how can you afford to keep this kid on bed rest in your own home with like all this fancy medical equipment? I don't understand that. And then he's like, I'm working late, I'm grading papers. And it's like, no, you're not. You just don't want to be there.
Oh my god. See, that scene right there is probably the most soap opera-y of all the scenes in this. Like, it's very dramatic. And yeah, he's just like, well, I'm working. Yeah, I don't think you get like overtime for grading papers, like, because I mean, I was an education major. Like, last time I checked, like, you grade papers on your own time, so like, right. He ain't getting no overtime for grading papers anyway, so that's a really bad lie on his part. You know what this movie needed if it was gonna go full soap opera? If it had an evil twin brother, which I mean, it's kind of the twist at the end of the movie, a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Which I meant to say that in the positives part. That was it's a really good ending. Like, I don't like cliffhangers like that and like world building endings, but I mean, that was a pretty good one. That's all I'll say. Anyways, back to the bad. Yeah, like this movie just, like I said, between the music and the zooms and between all of it, it's very dramatic. And like I said, like once I like started looking at like a soap opera and I like started like narrating it in my head like as a soap opera, and it like complete like all the scare factor was just gone for me. Because like it is trying to be a family drama, but I mean it is very dramatic.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And then another thing with the demon too is every time I saw it, while it was scary, all I could think of is Darth Maul from Phantom Menace, because it has a very similar face paint. So I was like, not buying it.
Pretty much, like, I don't like it when people, like, you know, when you compare the movies too much. Like, this is definitely, like, diet Conjuring for me. I don't know about you guys. But that's pretty much the way I feel about this. This is the sugar-free syrup version of The Conjuring, for sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, and it is good. It is good, but it's very melodramatic. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Like anything, like just, or do you guys want to show off your famous rant skills from your shows? If you got any final thoughts here.
Oh okay. Gosh, yes. We'd love that.
Yes.
Julia would want to go first for sure.
Wow, that's so generous of you.
I love how you're like, yes, Hannah. To this idea, I'm going second.
Oh gosh. I don't know. Do you want me to rant in a voice?
Oh,
we usually rant in voices in our
yes. What voice do you have? A voice you like?
We're not good at them.
Okay, this will be a fun one because we don't really hear it. So do this rant in the voice that you think Lipstick Demon would have. That's what I want.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Well, in my personal opinion, I really think that my name should be Lipstick Demon. Although I do take great care of my complexion and my nails, because us girls gotta look nice when we go out on the town. But I really would have liked a more sinister, which is a different movie, name for myself. So on that note, I'm not totally pleased with how that turned out.
That was great. Love it. Love it.
Lipstick Demon knows what you want. He will get it.
Okay, Hannah, your turn.
Hannah,
I think we're gonna all have like some variation on this same Powderpuff Girls voice. But
yeah.
I love it. All right, Hannah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm also the Lipstick Demon.
Yes, like these are all of our personal interpretations of what Lipstick Demon would be like.
Trying to find my voice here. Well, for one, why are you neglecting your second child? Where is it this whole movie? Also, my ghost friends, why can they all of a sudden come into the house, but at the end, Rose Byrne closes the door on them and they can't even get in? That makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry about all the violins. I just love classical music.
I could definitely see that having that voice. Oh my lord.
I love it. Like yours was a little bit more posh, a little more sophisticated.
Yeah.
Your lipstick demon like smoked cigarettes out of those long like things, the long filters.
Yes, I totally know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like deviate hard on this one. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, we're ready. I'm excited.
Oh, Rose Byrne, I am so sorry that they only gave you questions to ask in this movie. I don't think your script had more anything but question marks as punctuation. I'm so sorry, Rose, but we can go get a manicure. You can come to my place. We can listen to Tiny Tim and do our nails together if you'd like. That's all I was trying to do. I'm not trying to haunt your son. I just feel bad for you, Rose. I just want you to hang out and we can have good times up in the ghost zone. But I'd have to, possess your kid too, if that's cool with you. Let's go get brunch.
I'm not trying to haunt your kid. Yours was like friendly. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm from the Midwest. I can't help it. That's just how it comes out.
No,
I like pinched my back while I was doing it to like try to like sound like I like had that like slight stick up my butt like some of like the pretentious moms that come in. That's what I was shooting for.
Oh, it was great.
That was fantastic. That was a fantastic end to the roast of the movie. I think we covered about all the bases that we could for sure. Because like you said, this was a hard movie. Like I think we did a pretty good job for how good of a movie it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel good about it.
For sure. So to close out the end of the show, we usually go into a story time segment. We're still kind of getting into that, but I want to just kind of because I go to movie theaters a lot, so I've had a lot on my mind lately and a lot of pet peeves lately. So I want to hear some of your guys' pet peeves, whether it be going to the movies or pet peeves in movies. Just I don't know, just a movie related pet peeve that you want to get off your chest.
Okay. I have one because I was just at the movies last week to see Annabelle Creation, and there was this couple in front of us. Now, if you go to a scary movie and you are scared of a certain part, like one scene, it's totally fine to be like, oh my God, like audibly. But if you're going to do it every single time, there is some sort of dramatic like turn or wind blown or like music, I cannot hang with you. And this girl in front of me, every like 30 seconds, oh my God, oh no, oh my gosh, like so loud. And it's like, dude, we're all trying to watch the fucking movie. Come on.
It's kind of so like the people, like it's like the people that when they like catch on to the musical cues, and then like a musical cue, so nothing's happened yet, but the music will kick on, then you'll hear somebody go, oh my God, no, oh my God, no, oh my God, and you're like, you are ruining the build up right now.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that one for sure. And it's like even in horror movies, like I do like being audible because like that's kind of the fun in like seeing a horror movie like in a crowd, but like there's know the times, pick your places. And what about you, Julia?
Well, our movie theaters recently got renovated. And so now they're all the like super fancy lounge chairs that you can lean back in and that kind of stuff. And like the footrest comes up. But people have taken serious liberties with those because people will full on take their shoes and socks off and put them on the chairs. Like they're out. Do not put your foot on this chair. Like this is gross. Please stop. So people are way too comfortable now in the theaters, and I'm just like, oh my God, don't. That is so gross.
Oh my God.
So that is one of my biggest pet peeves. But I also went to this is kind of a side note, but I went to see Baby Driver a few weeks ago, and forgetting that teenage girls love Ansel Elgort because he's a dreamboat. And these two teenage girls were in this movie and they're sitting right next to me. And literally the whole time we're like, oh my God. Like every time he was on screen, which was the whole time, they were like, oh my God, oh my God. And they're whispering like, good God. Please stop.
Man.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I live in a college town, so I mean, I have to deal with that kind of stuff like a lot. I've learned to tune a lot out because like I kind of have to sometimes, like because I do live in a college town, like the closest theater to me, and I usually only go there because it is the closest one to me, and I'm lazy and I can walk to it. But it always has like more of like the college crowd, so I'm like if I want to get away, I have to like actually drive and shit. And so I'm like whatever. I try to tune it out the best I can. And, you know, I agree with the ones that you guys have for sure. And one that I've always had, and people get on me about it because, I mean, it's whatever. But I get very upset about it. I don't like, at the end of the movie, when people start...
Me too.
Why are
that
you
drives
clapping?
me crazy.
They can't hear you.
Really? I like that. I think it's fun.
They're not here. They can't hear you. They don't know your applause.
Yes,
this is not a
This is
not a theater
watching
event.
You react from the back.
And it's like, especially like, you know, when it's like, you know, say you're in a Marvel movie, you're bullshit clapping, and then hey, that other scene is coming on, and it's like, shut the fuck up, stop clapping, stop it now. And then you miss half of the cut scene. This is a deep cut for like movie pet peeves, but oh my goodness, I don't know, it drives me nuts.
Oh, that's funny. See, I like it because I like that if everybody claps in a movie, it's like this camaraderie in the theater that's like, yeah, we all appreciated that.
I mean, like yeah, I guess. Like, it's one thing, like, I kind of appreciate, like, whenever I was at a film festival, because sometimes the writers and directors are there in the crowd. So, yeah, it makes sense to clap at the end of, like, a screening for, like, that. Like, that makes sense to me. But in any other context, nah, I'm not about it. And I just, like, sit there and I just shake my head, and I don't know. It makes me, like, more mad than it should. Like, I get irrationally mad about it, but that's a big one for me, for sure. But, oh, my God, just to comment on the no socks thing, no. Like, I'm one of the people, I will tell people, I will say, you put your socks back on. This is not your home.
No, it's super gross.
Yeah, like I said, I live in a college town. I worked at a sports bar for a long time, and we were real popular with, like, the Asian foreign exchange students. But they would come in, and they would, like, take their shoes off and take their socks off, or, like, take their sandals off, and they'd, like, have their feet in the booth. And I'm like, people...
That's weird.
I'm like, people eat here. Stop that now. So I am not about people putting their bare feet on things that should not have your bare feet on them.
That's fair.
Yeah. People at home, tweet me with your biggest movie pet peeves, because people are the worst sometimes. People are just the worst.
They really are.
But you know who's not the worst? You guys, Hannah and Julia, thank you so much for coming on Deezus Take the Reel. I had such a blast. Man, we've been trying to get this going for who knows how long, you know, with various schedule stuff. I'm out of town, people getting married, just all sorts of, which congratulations, by the way. But yeah, it's been a long time coming. So thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a blast. Where can the good people find you guys?
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmroast. You can also find us, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at filmroast show, and we are streaming just about anywhere podcasts are playing. Thanks so much for having us. This was a blast. You have to come on our show sometime.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I am totally down. Just let me know. I am totally down, and it will not take as long as it took for this to happen. But I'm glad we finally did. Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm a big fan of your guys' show as well. And you guys, you know, we support each other on Twitter and all that good stuff. So it's always a good time to get to do these crossovers. So yeah, thank you again. And of course, guys, you can find me as always on Twitter at Deezus12. That's where I'm just there all the time tweeting things. But that's the first place you'll find, like, anytime I drop reviews, podcasts, whatever. You can find me writing reviews for geeksandgamers.com. So make sure you guys are checking those out. And, of course, make sure you guys check out my website. It is up and going. I am so happy with it. It is Deezus.org is where you can find all my articles for Geeks and Gamers. You can find blog posts I'm doing. I do movie pitches, mini reviews, all sorts of stuff. And it has all the podcast information there, too. So it is all there. And Instagram, Deezus.12. So until next time, guys, peace out, motherfuckers.